yes. Welcome to Beyond I Do. I think we're good. We good? Okay, cool. Hey, this is a special episode because not only is it blacks on one side and Hispanics on the other side.
Flashbacks to Long Beach.
Don't cross my line.
We got my wife, Erika, in the house.
Hola.
We've been married now going on 18 years, and we got our kids at the table. This is special.
Hey.
So we got Colin, and we got Eileen at the table.
Shout out to Pastor Adam and Pastor Ashley for trusting us to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for trusting my wife. And if my wife offends you, on
We're
behalf
sorry.
of the Levies, we apologize.
Yeah.
So
We apologize in
my
advance.
wife does not have a filter, and we're working on that. But hey, what's good? What's good? So it's crazy. Did you guys get the same drinks?
Yes.
Yeah, but I got oat milk because my tummy.
I have tummy issues with milk too, but
She don't care.
You just when you're Mexican, you have like a stomach of steel, and you just make it work, and whatever comes
Make
out,
it happen, yeah.
it comes out.
We got the same drink, right?
Dirty chai?
Dirty chai.
That's the only way.
Did you get espresso in here? Dirty chai or just a
Dirty
just-
chai is an
It's
espresso
espresso
shot.
shot.
Yeah, it has a special.
My bad, CEO of
Don't
Starbucks.
say no coffee order around it. It's not a medicine
I'm
ball.
like, so I text Eileen. I'm like, Eileen, would you like something to drink? From where? Who's gonna get it? What time? What ingredient? I don't. Do you want
coffee or not?
Do you want coffee?
Well,
So the only
because
thing
depending on where it's from, the order's different. They don't have Spanish lattes at Starbucks.
I think you should just get a general drink. So anytime I go to Starbucks, I feel like so overwhelmed, and then I feel guilty because like my daughter has worked 8 years, 9 years.
Nine.
I
Over
still
9.
don't know the difference between large, medium, small. The customer service, they always get mad at me. Can I have a medium?
A grande.
Yeah.
It's a venti.
Literally.
It's like, dude. My bad.
Get it right.
So let me see your nails, baby.
Oh, look at Valentine's Day theme
Got a
nails.
whole
Ooh,
situation.
wait, Pop, what's the deal? Did you ask her to be a Valentine's yet? Bro, that's the question.
Did I ask her?
Did
To
My
you
mom
ask
does.
her to
My
be
mom
your
doesn't care about
Valentine's?
that.
Oh,
So
hey.
do you? So is that what y'all do?
Nah, not yet. But I'm asking if you did. I'm asking if you
No, I
did.
haven't been asked.
Nah. So is that what?
Well, because like on social media, it's like huge where it's like, oh, my husband of 9 years and 3 children hasn't asked me to be his Valentine's yet, and like,
Yeah, I get some people
Oh.
it's a thing, some it's not. That's why
Yeah.
I'm asking. Like for y'all, is it a thing? Like, do you like to do that? Does mom like that? I don't know.
Mom doesn't like none of
Not
that.
into it and got
And
you.
I think if she did, she'd act like she didn't until like 5 years later. And then she was like, you know what?
By the way-
5 years ago,
By the
that was
way.
special. Okay.
By the way,
Yeah, I'm not a Valentine's believer.
Hmm.
I don't fall for the hype. I just think it's a Hallmark gift.
yeah, but Dad always still gets
Day.
you like
This is good.
chocolates. Yeah, he did. He would always get you a chocolate and a
gets
flower.
The girls.
He got me. He always got me a
he
flower
gets you and the girls.
and my favorite chocolates.
But he don't get me none. But I don't want none. I don't. Yeah.
There was
it's-
one year
Ginger?
we went to Nike and we got some shoes. Remember that year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. Erika is not romantic, but until she gets in the vibe or a mood and wants romance.
I mean, I just think there's just a lot to it. When like you should be treated special
Yeah.
Every day.
that
anytime.
should be all year round.
It's
Yeah.
with whoever you are in
Yep.
love with. It should be regardless. So just one day to spend extra money, what for? And it's like now with social media, I feel it's just like a
Yeah.
one up. Like, oh,
Oh,
look
it's
what
always
I
a-
got, a one up, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever. Not for me. But you could buy me things any other time of the year, anytime.
Every day.
Noted.
Every day. She wants a
Noted.
gift.
So did you do that last year? Did you ask your wife to
No.
be your Valentine?
Not
No.
with a note or anything. I think it was more just in person.
The day
in
of,
passing.
he put chocolate covered hearts all over the bed.
I remember
Oh,
before.
romantic.
Okay. Well, he's always horny. It's like no,
Hey,
no,
look.
because you should know. Anybody that's went to y'all,
You talk about break every chain. That happened on June 8th, 2023.
Colin is
So we
always-
out here.
Colin is always like.
Not always.
It's right.
It's
we
not- it's
we
a
did it
time and
right. That's
place.
why.
No, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Freedom.
I do remember before you guys got married, and it really made me happy. But I don't think you guys were married yet, so I tried to act like I wasn't that impressed by it. But I had so much joy. I think remind me. I don't think it was Valentine's Day. You got promoted, and then Colin put something in your car or something.
He like put balloons.
What happened?
Oh,
I
remember
got
that.
promoted to be an assistant store manager, and he tried to meet me at my job, but I already left
You
because
know how she drive, so playing Grand Theft Auto on the way to Target.
I was like, I need to go to Target because I need to go buy something.
My
And then, I don't even know how he was so close to my job because back then he like traveled
Well, I
for
knew
work.
when you were off, and so
Oh,
I
yeah.
just mapped out my day based off that, and then I got the flowers, got the balloons.
Got me
and
flowers,
pulled that.
balloons.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, because like as a girl dad, like or woman dad, old woman dad, like you try to treat your daughters a certain way in
Yeah.
hopes that continues, or in hopes that like that's an expectation, so that they can feel the difference if that's not happening. So I remember seeing like Eileen's joy and excitement and so forth, and I was like, I really respect that intentionality. I really respect it.
Yeah.
There was another time. This was. I think you guys were engaged, because
We were engaged during that part too.
Oh, you guys were engaged.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You guys were engaged, and like when we would go on walks, you said one of the things you wanted, and this is when you were single. You said one of the things you wanted, and we prayed for this, is a man that'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
Right. So there was one day. You were doing some cards in the front of the room.
I remember this.
What was that for?
I don't know. Y'all were having a meeting in the living room, and so we got excommunicated to the front room.
Meeting?
But
Like with the
Who's
Faith and
y'all?
Trinity?
I don't know who was in there. But no, it was
Was
other
it like a
people from the
Pomona
church.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
Probably a promote.
Yeah, and so we were in the front, and I don't know what we were doing, but we were sitting on the floor for like a good 2-3 hours, just having. I don't know what we was doing, but it was fun.
There was some there were
fun.
some note cards that Colin was helping you with.
I don't remember.
No.
You're
I remember you had a
studying for
bunch of
some-
pens and markers out though. I do remember that.
Yeah, I was probably studying for something.
And I think I was walking people out, and then Eileen was just laughing uncontrollably, and then Colin was like, that. And like, as a dad, like, I remember when Colin first came around, I used to be like, "Who is
I
this
remember
punk?"
he said that. He was looking for reasons to not like me. He said
When
that.
he's known you the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta flip it.
But that moment, like as a dad, I was just
he
like,
liked you. He
I
was
did.
just low key, like, because the whole car. Anytime you did something all romantic and special, did you see what Colin did? And I'd be like, yes. Like,
I used Team Colin early on.
I was Team Colin.
You was fronting on me. You was fronting on me.
But that was like, no, that moment when I experienced joy seeing another man make my daughter laugh, that was such like a freedom. Like it was something like shifted in me. Because
I remember the beginning.
Yeah, remember the
So
beginning.
Eileen and you, I remember she'd be on the phone on like probably FaceTime you guys because it was like on
Yeah.
speaker, and so we'd be in the room, and then
Door
were-
open.
the door open, and so Aaron's like, I don't like this, and I was like. What? He's like hearing another man's voice coming from her room. I just don't like this. And I was like, she's talking to Colin.
And then like after,
And you had known that we were already talking.
Yeah, I mean,
You told
friend-
you told him to shoot his shot.
I told Eileen a man
This
needs to
was-
shoot his
this-
shot. I didn't
And
say
he did.
Colin. Yeah.
he told me after we.
You did. You told him.
After we cleaned up my initial approach, then he was like, keep shooting your shot.
Oh,
But,
because he
yeah,
sent a DM.
Initially, it was it was all
And
bad.
Eileen
That's the
was
new
like,
age dating.
Eileen was like,
DMs.
oh well, Colin sent me a DM. Or what do you think?
We're on our walk, and Colin's like, my dad's all like, well, what do you think about this? I'm like, I don't know. Like,
He
I don't
liked
really know
my
him.
pictures, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Asking about my skincare.
And she swears that was me shooting my shot, and I'll tell her. I said that's window shopping. I was seeing like what the response.
Okay.
It wasn't shooting the shot. Shooting the shot was when we get one-on-one. Like, hey, look, what what are you trying to do? What are your goals? Like, are we moving?
That's
in the same
not
direction?
shooting your shot. That's
Yes, it
you're
is.
already in.
Anybody could like anybody's post. Like that don't mean nothing.
And ask for skincare advice.
Did you really take?
I did.
No.
I did.
No,
I
no,
did. I was
you-
trying to get my face right. I really was.
But did you buy it?
I came a long way.
I can't. Oh my God. No, I remember like so. Then like so, me and Colin, was that an argument?
Which one?
No. The first conversation
that phone
when
call
you.
at 7:30 in the morning. No, that wasn't. It wasn't an argument.
What about when you came to the? You just pulled up at the office.
just-
Yeah,
pulled
I was
up.
like, okay, he not answering. He not responding to my text. I know
Dodge-
he see it because he's on his
Wait,
phone
why
all
were
the
you?
time.
What were you?
So the initial conversation, he called me at like 7:30 in the morning. I'm on my way to work. And so he pops up and I knew like the Holy Spirit just dropped it on me. But no, I knew he was like, I was like, he wants to talk about Eileen. So I pick up. I'm like, hey, Pastor Aaron, what you got going on? Oh, I'm at Pomona doing blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going into work. And he just got straight to it. I want to talk about what's going on with you and my daughter. I said, oh, here we go. I'm in traffic, weaving and stuff, trying to make sure I'm staying on the phone. And so he lays out from his perspective, kind of like what he said with the whole, there's another man's voice in my house, that kind of thing. I got to protect, she's my responsibility first, so I need to know what's going on with the, with under
what are
my
your
roof.
intentions with my daughter?
So what's going on with you? And I was like, well, we're just friends. I'm getting to know her, seeing if I like where her head's at, that kind of thing. And he was like, okay, well, if you're just friends.
This was still the phone call?
Yeah. And he said, if you're just friends, then what's behind the, the food at work?
Oh yeah.
What's behind the food at
Popping
work?
up at her job,
The flowers.
Yeah. What do you?
She's riding with you to the beach. Like, what's if you're supposed to be just friends? Like, what message do you think you're sending her? And we, like you said, we had that relationship to where I could be honest with him. So I was like, well, I'm not trying to stay friends. Like, I'm trying to get out that box eventually. But like, I want to separate myself from the rest and show her that maybe I do want to move forward and I have what it takes to move forward. Like, I see her, I'm intentional, whatever. And so he was just like, if you decide to move forward, I want you to think about what it would mean to, just date somebody in this circle, date somebody at your church, date somebody in ministry that you serve, all these things. And so not knowing in my head, like I've already had some of that experience with my family growing up in ministry. But again, I'm on my way to work. And at this point, I'm in front of my client's house and the kids are all in the window, like waving and stuff. So I'm distracted. And so I'm not saying too much. And he's like, well, do you have anything you want to ask or say? I feel like I've been doing all the talking. I was like, not right now. Because
I'm late to work.
I'm late right now. But I was like, I would love to talk with you, throughout the week if we can. So when I said that I felt like the whole mood shifted. I'm like, okay, cool. What day is best? Okay, maybe Wednesday. Okay, cool. I'll shoot you a time. He said that to me. I'll shoot you a time. Monday goes by, Tuesday. We get to Wednesday. I don't have
So
nothing.
you were playing hard to get?
I'm hitting him up like,
seeing if he's intentional. Yeah.
So I'm waiting like, okay, no response to the text. I'm calling. It's getting sent straight to voicemail. I'm like, okay. And so I'm praying. I'm like, God, I don't know if he's testing me or he just don't like me. It's one or the other. But I'm gonna just step out on faith. I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna go to Pomona. If he's there, when I get there, I'm gonna see it as my green light.
Yeah.
If not, I'm gonna fall back.
He just pulled up.
You literally were walking out the door as
Yeah.
I was getting to the door. It was crazy. So we see each other and we just started laughing. And he's like, I'm on my way to another meeting. So I'm like, bro, he not trying to see me right now. But then he was like, you know what? Come in here. Let's talk right now. Let's go. And so that's when we got everything kind of ironed out. I wanted him to know, like, I respect you more than to try to talk to your daughter and, have it undercover while serving it. Like, to me, it sounded crazy. I'm sure to him it looked crazy. So we ironed everything out, like, right then and there. I told him my intentions, and then that's when he was like, I love what you're doing, but, like, I would need to be involved because she's still under my care.
So I have
in
a
this house.
question, like as the father and as like the potential dater, or like what are the like
Potential dater.
whatever, you know what I mean?
English second language.
It was like what are some things that run through like a like because I'm a mom, so I can't relate right to what emotions and what things that you are experiencing when you're seeing your daughter like start dating, because I know we've had some interactions with her previous dating life, but like what are some what are like the things that you are emotionally experiencing, and like what are the priorities and like protection in regards to like future dads of girls? And I mean I know regardless men protect, right? But besides the protection? And then as the potential dater, like, how did like his response towards you, like how did that make you feel, or like did it put additional pressure on you? Just curious.
Yeah.
I'll start. So Eileen and I's relationship got really close during COVID. And we would take walks. And then as we took walks, a whole lot of stuff was getting like unpacked with Eileen's biological father. Are you listening? Okay. With Eileen's biological father, with ex-boyfriends, et cetera, et cetera. So now I have so much more context about my daughter. And now my daughter feels so much safer talking to a man. And I learned like her lack of safety expressing to a man. So as we're growing in that relationship, now I have so much more passion to protect her heart. Because now I know some more in-depth things about her heart. So we would just say when we went on walks, it was like, hey, date in the light. That's what we would say, date in the light. But even before I knew Eileen's heart like that, back in the day when we had that mirror in our room upstairs, I would take Eileen to that mirror, we would hold hands, and I would say, hey, one day, prayerfully, I'm going to walk you down the aisle. And you're going to want me to be pleased. You're going to want me to be involved and engaged with who you decide. So let's decide now the values of the man. We used to do it all the time. So then, you know, we've had blown ups before when, you know, ex relationships. And then you remember that one argument when you just darted off and left? We were arguing about
when?
we were arguing about somebody that will remain nameless, but like, I'm gonna marry him.
Eileen,
right?
Eileen was gonna marry all her boyfriends.
So,
every one of them. Be like,
so you're not that
like,
special.
No,
I'm
it was
just kidding.
no, that's just
she
trauma.
Was like 14, 13.
Trauma.
Like, I could see myself marrying him.
Yeah.
The Lord redeems. That's
Yeah.
all.
No,
Amen.
actually, it's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
But like that day, Eileen just darts off. Remember, and she went to the gym. Remember?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
where
yeah,
you at? I'm
The
mad.
gym.
I'm mad at mom. Get your So like going through all of that, and then like now, it's challenging as a father because like Eileen's an adult, so it's not like I can tell her what to do, but I pray I can have influence, and then I pray I can demonstrate values that like would want to emulate the man she want to be with. So that was just a lot of passion, and then for me, this is the first time that Eileen is like, okay, I'm a date in the light. So then like the very first time, I don't know if it's the first time, but it's like, she's telling me, hey, somebody DM me. Oh, hey, this person was interested. Hey, I'm thinking about a dating app. So like we're talking about these things, and it's new for me because it's like, man, I'm talking to a woman, but this is my daughter, and I know she's been heartbroken, and I know I can't prevent her from being heartbroken, but what can I do to mitigate the risk? So I'm just fighting all of those things. What was beautiful about Colin is like the Lord set it up to, you remember the first day we met?
After
It was here
Ontario
on
Mills, it was here.
He was here on campus.
Oh, we
think-
met at the van store.
We kept running into. We didn't meet, but we kept bumping shoulders in the aisle because you was a little swole back then.
You was. You hear? He said you was.
You was.
Pre-COVID.
But we kept bumping shoulders, and I ended up getting introduced to you in the foyer that same night, I think, by my guy Jeff. Shout out Jeff.
Yeah, so then he was like,
Jeff Smith, right?
Jeff Smith. Yeah.
So-
Jeff Davis.
Oh, it was Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh.
Jeff Smith. I
thought
always
too.
thought it was Jeff Smith.
So Colin came up to me and was like, hey, you know, I'm coming from overseas and I'm looking for a mentor. Would you mentor me? I said, no. But I'm going to be launching Pomona. There's a lot of godly men. If you want to be around godly men, come to Pomona. He came to Pomona.
Yeah.
Then when I'm cleaning trash with the mayor in Pomona, he's pulling up. Then he's asking for prayer, asking for questions. Then I go to his trunk. He has clothes in his trunk because
He would give to the
he would give to.
homeless.
I'm like, I be doing that. Like, who is this cat? Right. So I really like admired him, but then none of that mattered once I found out that he liked. Like it's so crazy.
all got wiped
Fresh
clean.
start.
Like, it's like
Get a fresh
every
start.
good you've done.
Well, that's his past. So I don't know.
what has he done lately?
Yeah. So that's my perspective. What about you?
Yeah. So your question was, how did that affect me?
Because I do remember the relationship that you had like prior to Eileen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like serving in Pomona and I thought you were a great guy, or you are a great guy. Not thought you were,
sure.
you are a great guy. So then, like when you
you.
start dating,
Thanks so much.
dating our daughter, like Aaron's posture and position was like so much more like stern, and I was like, but we already know him,
Yeah.
like, or we know what you're about.
That's
so.
something like I wrestled with initially, but then I literally had to take a step back and consider his perspective in it, because that was the whole thing with that phone call that morning, and then even when I went to go see him at the office, was I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think you expected just initially for me to talk to him and then start that process. Where in my mind, I was like, okay, we're getting to know each other. If we decide to take it further, that's when I want to include Pop. Because she asked me very early on, like, are you going to talk to my parents? And I was like, yeah, if we get there, like, I don't even know if you're sane or not right now. Like, I don't know you like that. So, but at the same time, I had to consider his perspective on, okay, if you're not even there yet, but you're doing A, B, and C, like, think about what signals you're sending her, setting her up for possibly failure if you don't go all the way, that kind of thing.
And I would say, bro, like in hindsight, I didn't know what I was doing. And like, it's a lot of times when you have passion and you really care about something and you're trying to protect, that doesn't mean you're making the most wise choice. So it's like, this is a grown man. And then, like in hindsight now, like, I think, with faith in Trinity, and I'm praying for Trinity's husband now. Like,
we're all in agreement with that one.
But it's like, I don't know if I would do the same, like, because like, I would probably be more calm. I would probably have less expectations on the front end to be involved with like a grown man, a grown woman. But I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I just knew I didn't want to see my daughter heartbroken.
But you can't prevent that.
Correct.
So like trying to if you can't prevent, or we can't prevent, our children are going to go through heartbreak. Like
Yeah.
So trying to prevent it, just like you're just going to let yourself down in regards to.
That's like me telling you all these text messages you send me about vacations and properties and retirement. Like, but we don't have that.
No, but I believe we could do it.
Amen. So I believe I can protect my daughter. So that's the thing, though. Like, in my mind, I'm going to do everything I can, right? But then, like, lack of trust in God, right? Lack of wisdom in recognizing the age of Eileen, the age of Colin, et cetera, and then the newness of our relationship.
Yeah.
So we've had a good relationship, but then like, man, like, okay, now we rock. So then it's like, yo, I don't want to mess up. How do I,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, salute to you guys, because I remember that first conversation at the office, at least, was a lot of like, hey, I need you to have grace for me. And this is our first time going through this process like this. Whereas it was the same for me. I was like, this is my first time waiting on God before I date somebody, waiting for his green lights, waiting for his confirmation. So I think both coming off of that springboard into it, that saved a whole lot, to where like throughout the process, it wasn't hard to be like, oh, I don't understand why, he wants to know what time we'll be back, where, that was something that we set as far as like curfew and just boundaries for us, or, wanting to know what was going on. Because it wasn't a lot or like overwhelming for me. I think if it was, then it would have been like, okay, we gotta slow down, or I would have asked like, if you ask her back off something. But even I think just initially starting, starting it off with
My
that
mom
combo
was
and
barely
those,
hands on. She was
those
chill.
expectations. I mean, I think that set off for a smooth start with it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
if you could, like, looking back to how you initially responded and reacted, like, what advice or what would you have done differently?
It's what I'm doing with Faith right now. Starting younger and earlier, trying to have safe conversations, trying to be included in Faith's emotional thought processes now. I wasn't included in a lot of Eileen's depth of her emotions, right? So like one of the things that like I'm going to start doing more with Faith and Trinity is just start spending time in their room. We just go in their room and just sit down.
Can you clean it while you're in there?
No.
Well, because then I don't know if you remember, like I used to just do that when you were doing makeup.
Yeah.
Or just sitting there, just come in her world.
I think it's so weird sometimes.
Yeah, I would just try to be in her world.
What are you doing in here?
And I don't know. And it's kind of like that's why I play Roblox with the girls, because I'm trying to be in their world now. So it's like, I'd be so bored. I'd be like, what? Because we're doing that model contest.
Oh, yeah.
And we're rating,
Outfits.
Yeah, and it's
Outfits,
like, but it's like, I just want to demonstrate to my daughters, like, if I'm interested in your world. So if I'm interested in your world and I make you feel safe, then when you're heartbroken or when you like somebody, you're curious about something, blah, 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 then prayerfully I'll be included.
It's not all of a sudden you want to be involved kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. So when we first started dating, you were very not like you were protective, but like very limited on like what Colin was included in and what he couldn't be included in, like as far as like calling him family, or like even someone in our family had already called him like as a part of our family, and we weren't even engaged just yet. So like, what do you suggest as far as like for those that are dating and like, like that relationship, and because you've known Colin for so long, so it's like, yeah, he cool, but I also don't want him to feel like, not make him feel, or don't want him to feel it, but like give him full access to my whole family. For sure, whatever is and it's whatever works for your culture, your family, your agreement with your spouse. I think my wife did an excellent job vetting me before I met you. So it wasn't like we just start dating and all of a sudden I'm just always here. I'm always popping up. So like there was this time where we're spending time hanging out and you don't know, right? Mm-hmm. So I tried to follow some of that, but then also like being in ministry, I would also say like in Black culture, like everybody's a cousin, everybody's family and so forth. My daughters can't process that fully. So Colin and I had a conversation because Trinity is extremely physical touch. Yeah, she's physical touch. Yeah. So like Colin would come over and then Trinity would just lay out on her. on him.
And
like,
Colin would be like,
and he's like, hold on, man. He's like, I don't even do this with Eileen. It's like, what's going on?
I held her hand yet.
So it was more like for Faith and Trinity, because like there would be like different situations and like Faith and Trinity is like, what happened to so-and-so? And not necessarily in dating circumstances, just in relational changes. Yeah. So like as my kids are younger and they're growing up, just trying to also like have a lens of that. Yeah. Yeah.
How did it make you feel? Like, did you feel Dad was like too inserting himself with what was going on?
Not at all, because Dad would, not that he would never ask, but like he would just leave it for me to like talk about. So like on like 2020, when we would go on our walks, I think it's so important what he did as far as like trading failure stories, because it made me feel more safe to just openly share. And so when we did decide, when he had the conversation with me of like, hey, just date in the light. Right, like just date in the light. So like when I was on the phone with him, I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna have my door closed. I'm not gonna. Anyone can hear what we're saying, and then the girls would try to listen, and that's when I would close the door.
Detectives over
right? Because we didn't.
Because they didn't.
The girls didn't know that we were dating. That we were dating for a bit,
but yeah, no comment.
And then Faith would try to figure it out. And
they know.
They knew.
I bet Faith knows my social, right? Faith.
She literally slid a note and says, "I'm going to find out who you're talking to."
First the note, and then the detective.
And the detective certificate that she got at school. and then I think she found out like a couple of days later or whatever. I think the first time he came over, Trinity was like, "What are you doing here?"
I remember that.
Yeah. She said, "Why are you here?"
Why are you here? So yeah, I think because me and Dad started off so early of like just exposing everything, it didn't feel like he was overbearing. If not, I wanted us to be that much more in the light, because it just made dating so much easier. Like the fact that even if we had hard conversations, like I would talk to Dad about it, or if we had difficult conversations or things that we didn't see eye to eye on, like Dad would just talk to me, or like I would just talk to Dad, and he would never just be like, he would ask questions like, okay, where are you guys going? But he would more so ask him, Like, okay, what time are you guys gonna be home? Where are you taking her? Type of things. Like when we would go out on dates.
But you were like 20 something. How did that make you feel? Or you?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we're almost the same age.
Were we at 7 years apart? I think initially it was tough because I went from, I mean, I hadn't had curfew since I was 17. So like to go from, I'm just out here doing me and being trusted to do that because I just never got in trouble like that. But to go from that to like now, never got in trouble. Yeah,
Got
never got caught.
But because my parents trusted me in that space and how I held myself and coming home on time, that whole thing, like for me it was hard to come back into that space at now being 30, 31, or then being 32, 33, one of those. And so it was hard to like flip that switch back on and be like, okay, I got to be back at this time. I got to check the watch. We're at Disney.
I remember you would be like, it's going to be like 5 minutes late. Like you were so like.
Yeah, I was trying to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was doing the right thing. Like, I don't want to act like, this is the manual of how, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I love my daughter. I love Colin, and how do you vet somebody's character? Like, I literally believe, because Colin, to tell you this, like now when we talk as men, I respect Colin's place as a husband. So I knew, my intentionality is like, hey, you should talk to your husband. Like when we were running and we're talking about Christmas. Hey, well, what is your husband thing? What does that look? So so if I know that I'm gonna have that posture and I'm not the man with number one influence in my daughter's life, then it's like, how can I be a part of vetting that? Like, and of course you can't avoid things. But then like, it gets tested though, because like now we talk, we are husbands. It just so happens that like we're family as well. So like, you guys are kind of similar,
Man. I don't know what you're talking about.
So then like Colin's like,
perfect.
We be working out like Pops, let me get some wisdom. I said, if you give me some too,
let me get a helmet.
But I think it's beautiful, because like, I think as long as like as long as me and Erica don't come to you like this is how you should have you guys are the barriers, we're the levees. So whatever values you see from your parents that you want to keep in your family, do anything that you want and don't work for your family for agreement. As long as it's aligned scripturally, that's what I have passion for. Other than that, like do you type thing.
I will.
And what really helped with that, like with helping me be comfortable or like, just submitting to the whole plan as far as dating her, was like, we had a relationship before she was in the picture to where he knew my mindset on a lot of things. He knew how I handled multiple situations, just when my flesh was trying to get in the way. Like he was involved in those things, praying with me through those things. So, so I think that made it for me a lot easier as far as like, okay, I'm not going to somebody new and like trying to get with the program and trying to meet them where it was like we've already been doing this kind of thing. So it just felt like, okay, it's that much more important to him now because it's his daughter, but it's the same kind of program.
Yeah,
so
I'll say like that whole season, I just let him take the lead because I'll be honest, I thought it was weird because like. I've never dated in the light, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even know what that looked like. And so internally, I was like, she's a grown woman. Like, just let her date.
Well, Erica is a different breed, and that's okay. and that's fine. But like, she was like, so, no tongue? No, and I'm like, babe, what did we say? So y'all haven't done nothing?
Like, no.
And I'm like, shut up. But I love the balance though.
I want her to be
I love the balance because it's like my wife knows how to take something so serious, so deep.
Yeah.
And then have the room laughing and have the room feeling like, it's not that big of a deal,
I will say though, what mom did really well in that season and like is teaching me how to be a wife. So like just by like showing me like you've like fixed your man a plate, like making sure like he's fed. And so like that's just things that I just always observed that mom did is like she always fixed you a plate before she fixed herself a plate. Like, and so like even that, and then even in that season she's like, okay, let's start cooking together. Let's start like how do you take care of yourself and like and stuff like that. So that way I'm not like, yes, independent. Like everyone knows my mom's a very independent person, but one thing that she did very well, especially like once you guys got saved, is letting you take the ring of it, like being like hands off on it and really allowing you to speak. And so many times when I would ask and like come to her to things, like it was very sound. And it like, not that like, I mean, yeah, I came to you a lot of things, but not that I wouldn't come to mom to a lot of things. Me and my mom just had a different relationship, whereas like we would say things in passing, like, okay, cool. Like, and I don't even know if she knows, like I would get things, little things that she would do just for you or for the house, like how to take care of the house and how to take care of the home and like make it a home, like and make it homey and like and all that. She did really, really well in that.
Yeah, we have to give you your flowers on that, because I caught a couple times when you said it, like, I mean, it was just us, but then in group settings too, where you were like, I don't know how to make her into a wife or help her be a wife or whatever. But I just want to give you your flowers and say, like, you did that. Like the evidence, I get to reap the fruit of that. Oh, yeah. Of that evidence. So
I'm glad she caught it.
You did a great job. You did a great job.
This took some time.
Yeah.
Well, because she always did it for me. So I'm just like, all right.
Like I came over your house the other day. I'm like, Eileen, you can't have your house like this. I was on her like, you gotta have it picked up. Oh.
I don't think that mom button turned off. My mom's the same way.
Yeah.
Same.
I'll be eating dinner at the house, and I just be thinking, faith in Trinity, gotta learn these recipes now. Like, cause like I'm so serious. My wife knows this.
Yeah.
I'll be eating some. This is the best I've ever had. Like, this is like, and I just
chicken tacos.
Yeah, it'll just be like
nothing, rice and beans.
It'll be like eggs and bacon. Like, it'll just be like, and I'd be like, oh my God. But you know what it is? It's like the whole presentation.
Yeah.
And the piece of the home. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So that I'll be telling Erica, I was like, faith in Trinity got to know how to run these places, because not all women know how to cook or take care of a man or anything like that.
I'm not saying that every woman needs to be like cook. You know what I mean? I think as long as the woman does her role or wife does her role in the relationship and whatever is in agreement in that house, like
True.
I don't think that every woman is going to be a good cook, and that's okay. Like sometimes the man is the better cook, and in our case you're not.
I'm not, but I would say that there's I guess it wasn't you make a good point, because it's not about the food, it's about using your gift to serve.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever your gift is in that, in your household.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was, I think what she did in that season, not like, because me and you had more conversations, but she showed me a lot more.
I'm just not a conversation type of girl. I'm just, let me just tell you what it is.
Yeah, she would just tell it straight up of like, you're kind of dumb for thinking that. I'm like,
I remember we weren't married yet. I went to your cheer competition in Palm Springs.
Yeah. No, it was Palm Springs,
You guys lost, right? So like,
they didn't lose. They just didn't place first. They got like third place.
Yeah, L, right?
Yeah.
So
still a loss. Still a loss.
We get in the car, and then like, and I'm so new to this. Like, I have no kid reps. So like, I get in the car, I'm in the front, Erica's driving, and then Eileen's in the back, and then like, Erica's backing up. This is why y'all suck today. You weren't taking practice seriously. You weren't. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God.
But you got to remember, I used to coach her. So it's like the lens of a mom and the coach. So it's kind of like.
It was definitely coach in there. Yeah. It was coach. It was not mom. Like, oh, no.
I remember you were so shocked.
I was like.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to raise no kid that's part of a participation trophy type of team. Like, no, you're going to have to put the work in. Yeah. Like,
here's what I will say that I learned, because like me and Erica get married and we're like, oh, we're not gonna have no more kids and everything like that, and then our life changes, right?
Yeah.
So I've never seen Erica in the newborn, changing diapers, breastfeed. I've never seen that side of my wife. So I remember when Faith was born, it's just like changed my world, right? But then, like, she forgot English. Remember that?
Yeah.
You talking Spanish? And then I'm like, You're not a single mom. You're not a single mom no more. Like, what are we saying?
You're like, what did you just say to her?
And then you know what she did? You remember what you did in that moment?
No, I just given birth, so I don't.
You gave birth. You're talking in Spanish, and I was like, "What are we saying?" She was like, "Can you give me in and out?"
That sounds. That's where it comes.
That's what happened. Yep. But like, so I saw Erica and Eileen when Eileen's in junior high, elementary school, junior high, and then I didn't see.
Yeah, because
that.
you went with me to her 5th grade.
Oh shoot! Oh god!
6th grade
parent.
You remember that?
Oh, 5th grade parent meeting. Parent teacher.
Was that
conference.
was that before the cheer thing or after?
Probably before.
Okay, so before the cheer thing, I go with Erica to the parent teacher conference, and so I have no kid reps. So the teacher's being very nice. Eileen, you know, she's sweet. She
give me the sandwich.
But she might have to repeat this grade.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like, word. What is going on, right? Because during that time, I think I was about to move to San Diego.
Yeah.
So then I would call you every day.
Every day.
And then we would, because it was English.
You do homework.
It was English.
Together
over the
phone.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, help this child, because I ain't helping her.
Well, because it was English, and Mom already hates writing essays and didn't like English and grammar.
Figure it out, or flunk.
Or flunk. Figure it out or flunk. Life lesson from Erica.
Remember when we moved to San Diego and she was going to teach me Spanish?
Yeah.
And then she
Eileen.
just put, okay, tell everybody what happened.
Oh, God. Okay, so...
Aborted the mission? What's up?
So my dad wanted to learn Spanish. He enrolled back into school just to learn Spanish.
I did.
Didn't even end up taking any Spanish classes while you ended up rolling back into
you have
school.
a master's degree, never took one
I
Spanish
went just
class.
to go to college. I just went to go to Spanish.
Like, you didn't even want to, yeah. So my mom said, okay, we're going to learn Spanish. And she put Post-it notes all over the house of like the word in English and the word in Spanish. So that way he can
You open the
repeat
refrigerator,
it.
the milk has like a
had
post-it note. The
leche,
couch has a post-it note.
And so, and then
That's dedication.
you say it was the
Right?
next
Right,
day,
Colin?
Dedication.
but it wasn't the next day. She left up those Post-it notes for
How long?
a while.
How long?
Yes.
How
They
long?
were up for at least a week.
You think I'm going to learn Spanish in a week?
No, but
you weren't repeating the word, so it was pointless.
So then she took them down.
Did you pick anything up? Or it was just
No.
Leche.
No.
Leche. Bicicleta.
That's because you did Rosetta Stone on your phone.
That's when I was going to Pomona.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I got to learn Spanish now again.
Yeah. So she did take the Post-it notes down, and he was like, "Where are all my notes?" She goes, "Well, time to test day.
Time to clean the
just
house.
speak English.
It was house cleaning day.
So Valentine's Day is coming up. I know Erica doesn't care. We'll be up north, actually.
Yeah.
What is Valentine's Day to you?
I don't know. I think last year we went to it's like a Haven City type of spot in Riverside. We just went out to eat. Didn't dress up, nothing.
So do you appreciate, do you value
Is there
Valentine's
like something in your mind where it's like, man, I wonder what my husband, I hope he makes me feel special, or is he?
Not really. Sometimes
I
I'll
think we both do a good job of doing that stuff throughout the year.
Yeah.
So it's not like, okay, on this
because
day,
he already writes me love letters like randomly.
Do you read them?
I do. I keep them all.
Did you keep mine?
They're in the fire.
I mean, they're all in like a little container, but I mean, I've kept almost every note that he's given me.
Last year, I got my wife a Valentine's Day card, and I put 2 bullet points. I put just 2 bullet points.
Bullet points?
Yep. I love you. You mean a lot. Because if I write, she's not gonna read it.
I'll read it and I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
No, so he writes.
Yeah.
He writes in cursive when he knows I can't read sometimes. So I'm like,
You can read. It's not that hard.
Why do you write in cursive?
I tell you, because I got in trouble so much in elementary school. I had to write standards 100 times. You will not talk with the teachers. I had to write that 100 times in cursive. So I'm gonna use it.
Wait, so
It's gonna be used.
it's been extinct from the education.
But I don't know what we're
system,
doing
by the
this
way.
Valentine's Day.
So like when
But do
when
you
you're-
expect? Like you don't have
Do I
an
expect-
expectation? No.
No. Not really.
How about you, Colin? Do you want to make her feel special on Valentine's Day?
I do, but at the same time, like I try to make sure at least twice a month, like I'm doing something because I'm like that same, the same way I would pop up and do things when we were dating, like that shouldn't fall off now just because you're married and you see each other every day. Like you still got to be intentional with, okay, this need to show her.
He'll
how
get me
much
random flowers.
Do you like flowers?
I do.
Okay.
I'm not good at keeping them alive, but
Lord.
They're supposed to die.
yeah, they die within like 3 days, but I think it's cute. I like
when you're on
flowers.
social media and you see like a guy go all out for a girl or a girl go all out for a guy, do you start thinking in your mind like,
Why
that'd be
hasn't
cool if
so-and-so done
is that
No.
Start nudging me.
What about for you?
Kicking me under the table?
What about
Do
for
they
you?
give you ideas?
It used to be, but then I learned so much of what you see on there. Like there's a lot of behind the scenes that go
and
through situations
like
too. to where I
everyone
was like,
fronts
like
I'm not-
acting?
people.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
only
like-
that, like acting. A lot of them is like, because they're being sponsored by someone that
Or some
like
people
they're
just do it
gifting
just to
and,
post it, and
or
it's
just
like,
a post,
nah,
and it's like
we really trying to live this out. Like I'm.
It's
letting
crazy
you
how
all
like
out
you
in
don't
real
know
life.
what to believe on social media
Yeah.
anymore. Like when it comes to those things, and I mean, I think for the most part, Valentine's Day, like the men get gypped because it's all about how the woman
How the woman-
treated.
yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the time, those people that go all out, whether if it's true or for a, I don't know, some type of brand deal or something like.
yeah.
It's just like, are they making up for something that they're missing out
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis in their relationship?
And like a lot of it too, it's like it's not really people that like all the Instagram posts that you see, like not a lot of them are married. They're all just dating. And so it's just like you're making this a grand like it not that like it sets up
Not to deter anybody from doing it.
Right.
but
It
Buy
is-
your Valentine's Day gifts.
stay
guys.
intentional throughout
Spend
the
the
year.
20
but be
billion
intentional
dollars.
every day. Like
Yeah.
that like be intentional
throughout
every
the year.
day. Yeah. Like not just because I'm trying to woo you.
Yeah, I'm so shocked at my wife's Valentine's
You know,
era nails. It was very, very shocking.
I wanted to be
Little flare,
it's because
little-
I'm a size 7 nights, 8 days, 4-hour trip to Cancun. If you want to buy me something
That's
for
her
Valentine's
size.
Day,
You what?
7
She's a
nights, 8
size-
days.
7 nights, 8 days flight to Cancun.
You had
That's,
that was
that's what
I was
she
like,
wants
what?
for Valentine's
Wait,
Day.
what?
She wants a trip.
I
wants
just
a
wanted
trip.
to be festive because it's the month of February, but
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't need a Valentine's
You're
Day.
gonna be more loving this next few days, months, weeks, or whatever.
Maybe.
Okay. Here we go.
Maybe.
There we go.
We'll stick
go.
2 weeks.
Two weeks.
A Valentine's Day pay period. Who's more romantic out of you two?
Mister.
Colin,
Colin.
100%.
Love
Colin.
Mr. Loverboy.
Colin.
Okay,
Yeah.
Eileen, who would you say is more romantic out of me and mom?
You.
Why?
Well, because
What has he done that's been romantic?
The side eye.
Dad tries. Dad's purchased you cars before and like put bows on them. Like Dad like does some pretty expensive
You know,
gifts.
did you hear about that? He bought me a car and surprised me, and then I got mad at him.
For what?
Oh, I didn't
How
know
you get
about that
mad with
part.
a brand new car.
I came home to a
BMW.
Oh,
followed
the
with
by-
a
cover was
real
off. I remember that story.
BMW.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
heard this story. I don't remember.
I remember.
I just
She
felt
wanted
like
to
I
be
wasn't
in-
included in,
Oh,
in
yeah.
a
She wanted-
financial purchase.
She's
I was
used-
still struggling with like single mom life / being a married woman, and I felt that a purchase like that should have included me in the.
She don't think
input.
that no more. She don't think that.
No.
She
Just
just
put it in
doesn't
the
buy it.
bag.
Now I know
Buy
you
it.
make smart financial
Yeah.
decisions.
So
So
BMW with a red. So we went car shopping. The goal in my mind, find out what she wants,
Yeah.
so then I can go back and get it. So did all that. Was negotiating the whole time. Then I worked it out that like I got the car, got the red bow on it, put it in the middle of the driveway,
Yep, I
so she
remember.
couldn't like go. It had to interrupt. So she gets home, and I'm on the side of the garage, like,
Like, what's this?
right? I'm like, yeah, you know. So then she pulls up.
Oh, mad.
Who's parking in the driveway?
oh yeah, I was so like I don't know. I did not
Karen
even
mode?
Because
see
like the bow was in the front.
The bow was in the front.
and she pulls in and she
And I
just
see someone's parked in my spot, so I didn't even see the bow, and I was like, "Who parked in my spot?"
And then, so then I do
Got
the, so then I
got
do
out
the,
ball
then I
with
do
park
the, no,
mode.
no, I
Let's
did
go.
the reveal. I'm like, yo. She was like, well, what is this?
it's your
It's
car.
the car you wanted. What, you got it? Yeah. Wait, what's our payment? What's the paper? What's the...
Yeah.
I was like...
I mean, it was an amazing gift. I like looking back, I apologize for how I responded. But I just think at that time, it probably had to do a lot more with like... And maybe it has to do with like financially, like growing up in my home or just like... I felt like, you bought the car. Like, we didn't buy it. Like, my name wasn't on the car. You know what I mean? And so it's like, that was one of the reasons why I responded in the way. Like, I felt like I wanted to be a part of this financial purchase.
How deep into you guys' marriage was that? Because I know, like, Lean and I, we've had a couple of those conversations to where, like, hey, I got to be included in it. Like, let's us decide this instead of you bring home a decision and it gets done.
That's
like,
a good question.
What
I
did it take
remember
for
in
you
the
guys to get
beginning, Aaron was, so if you guys don't know Aaron, he's very
watch the Aaron.
He's a good financial steward of our money. But when we first met, it used to irritate and annoy me the heck out of me. And so it was to the point where, like, when we got married...
Micromanage.
What?
I got you, Pops.
No, like... So I remember he said, we're not going to make any financial purchase without talk. And that was another reason why over $100. Like, if it costs more than $100, we got to talk about it. Do you know what? Like,
we were not balling back then. We were, so.
And so
I couldn't leave my room light on for 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, I used to be a hound.
Yes,
I used to be a hound.
Micromanaged.
Yeah. Well, it's because you were just y'all for years. So like,
so I think like a good conversation. Like, so we had a conversation. What do the finances look like? Like he took full control of managing the money, and back then
she took control of spending it.
Yeah.
And it's been that way still. But now, he still want to sit down and be like, blah 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 and blah, and I'm like,
Blah, blah.
I don't.
So then we tried all
crazy.
these things. So we used to fight over money.
Well, because he used to look at the bank account like 8 times a day.
Because you would spend 8 times a day.
Not back then.
But like we
I spend
tried.
money like that now.
But like, here's the thing, like, yeah. But like over the years, I'm not who Erica met.
Right.
Erica's not who I met. Like, when you're married, you're growing together. So you got to like introduce yourself to your partner. And that's why dating is so important. Not just for romantics, but it's like, I'm growing. Yeah. I'm changing. I have different desires. So does my wife. So then what works this season? So I think yesterday we had a financial meeting. And she started it. Like, hey, let's talk about this and let's get on the same page about this. Then we're texting about something today, and it's like, hey, this is beautiful, but I don't think that like now it's figured out, because like in 3 years something could change.
Yeah.
So like recently, because this is what I told my wife. I said, hey, the way that our financial discussions are set up, like right now, it's like I'm only talking when, hey, we got to slow down a little bit. So it's just not. So then it just creates like
the bad guy.
I bring it up when you got to, and it's like that shouldn't be. Yeah. So we're doing like these like financial.
He created a graph.
Yeah, these like financial snapshots every time we get paid, because no talking. It's pictures, right? So it's like, for me. But that's what's happened in 18 years. So like
it went from talking every minute.
What's crazy? Here's what's crazy about it. It went from, hey, we got to talk. I don't want to talk, and then Erica's like, I got an idea, so we don't fight. Let's talk about the money naked, and then that didn't work. You remember that? That didn't work, right?
Okay.
Look,
yeah.
Okay.
We need to try that.
This is beyond me, dude. I told you he's always. So then, like, I said, you know what? My wife doesn't want to talk about this, but she wants skin in the game. She wants to know what's going on. So I have this spreadsheet that says money in, money out, and it has a pie chart. So then every time, it takes me like 3 minutes because I do it all the time. Boom, 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 boom. Send a text message. Now, when I send that, now she's like, hey, let's talk. I'm like, oh, shoot. But we've been married 18 years. Like, so it's like, I think
it's just a reoccurring conversation, like checking in where you guys are at. And sometimes someone who is handling the finances, maybe it's just like they're just, after a few years, you realize that they just shouldn't be the one managing, and then you switch it off.
And just because you did, so here's the thing with me and Erica, like Erica, dope, independent woman, right?
Yeah.
Single mom, had multiple businesses, worked. There's nothing she can't do. But then it's like, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it, right? So like we would get into arguments. No, I can run the fight. Yes, you can,
but you should.
But you also married a nerd. Like leverage that a little,
right
like
now.
So
what would y'all say, like, because we know as far as finances go, like that's one of the hugest reasons for divorce, and like just marital struggle today. What would you say, because I know we've talked about it a couple times on our runs as far as Financial Peace University, like what biggest piece would you guys say from each side helped you guys out of that university, like Financial Peace University experience?
I think understanding that he was because
there's always a nerd and a free spirit.
And so understanding that I was the free spirit and he was the nerd, and like the pressures that are on him as the nerd. And nerd, I mean by that's the term. That's what the class.
I own it.
Yeah. And so seeing during that time, we were very intentional about seeing all the numbers, right? Like we've never been in debt besides our like house and our car, because Aaron doesn't believe in debt, or credit card debt, should I say? So just seeing where the numbers lied, so it allowed me to be real about, financially what we have and what we didn't have in order to buy the things I wanted to buy or whatever. And so I do, whether it's financial peace or some type of financial literacy, like class as a couple, so that you guys do kind of understand where each other are and where the money is, because there are some marriages that do keep their finances separate. I mean, I think it just depends on what works for each marriage, but being open to have discussions about it and revisiting it, because like Aaron said, like it's been 18 years and I think we're at the point where we found out what works for us.
Yeah, and agreement is a superpower.
Yeah.
So like once there's agreement, we can rock. Fundamentally, my dad always taught me is never about how much you make. It's always about how much you spend. So in marriage, we have both worked. We have one of us has worked. Some of us have had two jobs. One had one job, like part-time. I'm going to school, you go. So there's different seasons and different so for our marriage, I don't know how we could have done separate finances, because we had some volatile seasons where we had to come together. I just lost all my income, right? Like, okay, my wife is going to school. Okay, hey, I want to go back to school. Hey, you're going back to school. So like agreement is so key. So as long as I don't think the answer to financial problems is more income. I think the answer to
my answer is just another shift.
So Erica's mindset, because she's a nurse and she's a great nurse, but in her mind it was, I don't think she thinks this way anymore, but she was like, I'll just work a shift. I'll just work anything in life is one shift away.
Sure is.
Right? So it's like, that's not how life works. But I think if we're focused on getting more income, but not knowing how much outcome is happening, then it's like, it doesn't matter if you have $1 million. If you spend 1.1 million, then
you're in trouble. I think that was a super healthy couple conversations we had before we got engaged, even of like, hey, when we are married, like what's that gonna look like? Just both agreeing on like living below our means instead of trying to ball out and just be house broke, that kind of thing. So you actually have some wiggle room to get out, go on dates, enjoy life. Disneyland, like you can't enjoy those things if you're maxing out. Okay, we're making this much, so let's see where we can make it fit. Versus like now you got to be intentional with saving, with future kid, all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, for us, financial, they do the envelope method, and so that helped us. That helped us like live on a specific budget. In order, then once we understood our spending habits and on rhythm, then we haven't done envelopes since I think after that year that we did financial peace. But just understanding the rhythm.
Because Erica, she would get the envelopes and then be swiping on the credit card. I still have this in my envelope.
Girl math.
So we good.
Yeah. Hey, what a great conversation.
Yeah.
Cheers, you guys.
Yeah,
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day,
Valentine's
everyone.
Happy
Day.
Valentine. Spoil your boo. Peace.
Bye.